our company has been operating in Kenya in come and go basis in terms of the operating from South Africa for the last 5 or so years. But now, last year, we decided to put up the Kenyan office in July, but we only became operational in October. And we actually started with Athletics Kenya. And you remember that our company was the one who put together the bid for the World Youth Championship,
which Kenya was granted.
So it's not a one-hit wonder. We have a demonstrated ability to deliver. And number 2, we also took up Mathare United and packaged them together. And this is what brought on board Britain. So in terms of looking ahead, we have sat down with the 2 biggest clubs in this country, arguably, because everyone says that, but numbers have to be determined. That is AFC Leopards and Gor. 2 weeks ago, we were appointed by AFC Leopards to help them put together their commercial rights, and we are, I think, in a few days to come, we should be able to finalize with Gor. Our main reason of doing this is we've discovered that being the anchor brands of the league, they need to be helped because we believe that they are actually very premium brands.
For the interest of our viewers, we had also invited representation from SportPesa in order for them to come and talk to us about some salient issues regarding the legal implications of having a betting company sponsoring the Kenyan Premier League. We also did extend our invitation to the Kenya Premier League CEO, Jack Oguda, who confirmed, but then he hasn't made his way to our studios. But of course, we have FKF media consultant Milton Nyakundi, who will be able maybe to share or shed light on a few of these things, because we wanted to know from the Kenyan Premier League how they position themselves in order to get this kind of sponsorship. But then you've told us the nitty-gritties of what you put on the table. But do you think a lot still needs to be done for Kenyan football to put themselves in an advantageous position? Agree?
Yeah, what I can say, and I can't agree with you more, is Kenyan Premier League, and by extension Milton's FKF, and you know FKF is the mother body.
Yep.
Worldwide. FIFA is the first tier, then a national FA, then of course the national FA delegates the responsibility of running a Premier League to a PL. For example, in England we have the English Premier League,
yes,
with the delegated responsibility from the English FA.
Yeah.
Same to La Liga, derives the same from their federation, same to Bundesliga. So when you look at the relationship across the world, and the model in Africa is the SPL, I mean PSL of South Africa. You have SAFA as the federation, and PSL as the body running the league. And when you look at the relationship, it's always the head of the FA will be sitting on the board of the Premier League body to give an oversight role, and also to chart the corporate outlook of the same. I think in Kenya there has been a challenge, probably ideologies. I wouldn't want to go into the political element of it, but if we can sit down and say, look, let's pick the positives out of the football management in this country. And before we came on air, I was telling Milton that I'll be happy if us Kenyans will be focusing on what is working, rather than fixing what is already working. We go to try to make what is not working.
That actually forms the basis of the question that we are going to ask FKF consultant, that FKF is on record as saying there was no due diligence conducted before bringing SportPesa on board. To what extent do you think should this diligence have been conducted, Milton?
I think there are basics that we must be able to understand, and one of them is that in exercising delegated authority, KPL Limited or KPL as a group of clubs are subordinate to the federation as clearly provided for by Article 18 of the FIFA statutes. And Article 79, or 78 and 79 of the FIFA statutes and FKF constitution do provide that the federation remains the authority, gives the authority in terms of conducting due diligence, even on the basis of just being informed. But I think on the issue of bringing SportPesa on board, then brings in the Article 25 of the FIFA Code of Ethics in terms of dealing with betting companies, and it expressly prohibits bringing on board a betting company in terms of directly sponsoring football.
Do you have those provisions? Can we?
It is very clear. I'm referring to something that is substantively there, and we can make reference to the FIFA Code of Ethics, which I'm opening right here. But that, I mean, that aside, what we do not have, and what I think should have been the beginning point, FKF is not opposed to having SportPesa or any other corporate being involved, but really due diligence and due process must be followed where there are no regulations, like in the case of Kenya, where the Code of Ethics provides that in an instance where you have a betting company, like we had with the Scottish Premier League a few weeks ago, then the FA, who is a member of FIFA, gets the regulations done and guided by FIFA for that to be able to be provided.
But then, are you guided by the FIFA Code of Ethics in engaging a betting company to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we need to bring ourselves up to speed with what happens across the world. You will struggle to find an English Premier League team without a betting partner, right? And number two, the value that a betting company brings, as opposed to what he is talking about, needs to be brought into perspective. One, the second tier league of the FA, that is of England, is actually the anchor brand is Sky Bet. That's a betting company. He's talking about just a moment, Milton. You were talking about a betting company not being involved in sponsoring football, and yet it is football forms the basis of its business, right? So if the second tier of English FA, which is the epitome of football management in the world, is being anchored by Sky Bet, a betting company, and a few years ago, remember, some of the two biggest football clubs in the world, that is Real Madrid and AC Milan, had a shirt sponsor called bwin. bwin is a betting company, right? So if we say that there's no reference point and due diligence around it, and to remind you,
I think there's something that we need to get clear here.
Let him clear this first.
Let me just finish something.
You are mentioning about clubs.
Yes.
But I need maybe the viewer wants to understand the league, which is an authority.
Yes.
How is it, insulated from cases of manipulation? Because we've seen how betting companies maybe have affected, with the outcome of certain matches. They have been involved in shady deals elsewhere. But I'm not saying about SportPesa. But are there regulations, guidelines to make sure that does not happen?
We're looking at what it takes to make betting successful in football. And you remember that, like in SportPesa's case, and we had to actually make this very clear, when you do a bet, the maximum you can win is 20,000 shillings, right? On a single bet. That is on a single game. For example, if you are to bet, let's say Sony Sugar versus Bandari FC, the maximum you can win on that game is 20,000. So if you look at 20,000, how much money will you need to fix that game, for example? And for you to do a jackpot, that is 13 matches, right? And 13 matches, KPL can only, at very maximum, provide you 8 matches. You still have other matches from other countries to fix them for you to win a jackpot. So for me, whether or not SportPesa was an anchor brand for Kenyan Premier League or even FKF, I mean, you cannot restrict on people betting, but it's very clear even in the FKF rules that anyone caught culpable of betting serves life ban from football activities.
Is that the case? Do you have those
think,
provisions?
What we need to get clear here is we are not, like I said,
Yes.
it is just a question of ensuring that the FA is involved, because look at the case of the English Championship that you're talking about. In terms of development, in terms of having the regulations, the English FA are way advanced, the Italian and the Real Madrid cases that you're talking about. But in Kenya, we have that vacuum. For example, over the last 2 years or so is when we are having, sports betting in this country. We had Gaming International before that, and now SportPesa. And really, that is a virgin area. And for me, from where I sit, and my approach would have been for SportPesa and yourselves and coming together with MP and Silva and saying, guys, we have a scenario here. There is interest from SportPesa, and or so it should be. Can we first develop, the rules?
Do you think there's a serious breach?
There is a serious breach, because even the federation was not involved in even in terms of giving.
But Milton,
playing its oversight. Wait, let me just finish. In playing its oversight, which is to say, like I said, Article 79 of FIFA statutes and FKF statutes provides that the federation will be involved in all these things. Like you said, the PSL is the paragon in terms of how the relations between the federation and the league
Did you
administration.
consult FKF in all this?
let me tell you, I think with all due respect, it's not in Frontiers East Africa's position or mandate to actually engage a partner of the league, for example, because our mandate stops at commercialization of the league and other affiliate competitions like the top 8 and the under 19. The reason why I'm saying this is that I would not want to actually go in the management side of the league, because
Sure.
That is not within where I sit. If a representative of KPL and SportPesa will be here, then that would be viable. But if I want to speak on their behalf, then it will not be fair.
Unfortunately, we don't have much time because I'm told we are running out of time. Just 30 seconds, Milton, what do you think needs to be done?
I think from where I sit, there needs to be more engagement. Sadly, there is no Jack Oguda or Ambrose Rachier here, or anybody from the KPL in terms of that. But I think what we need to do, even from where Agri and Frontier sit, yes, professionally, that is how you're supposed to operate. But we have to understand and appreciate that we are not operating in an ideal situation. And as an agency, you also have, as part of your mandate, the advisory role to KPL. So where there are salient issues and where you know that you're likely to get into murky waters and the politics of the relations between the KPL and the FKF, then you need to tread carefully, because really we're getting into a situation where we are going back 3-4 months where there is a contract signed, but in terms of where the federation stands and where FIFA stands, it was put very clear that such authority has not been given, and therefore you run into problems.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for finding time to come to our studios. Agri, I think the country appreciates what Frontier SA has done.
I wish I would have made a comment.
Closing comment, yes. 10 seconds, please.
One, we are aware that FKF gets 5% of the commercial earnings of KPL, and with that in mind, we as an agency knew that there's a working formula between the two. So once you are deriving 5%, I think they should be celebrating. Just a moment, Milton, you got your closing remarks. The reason why I'm saying they need to be celebrating is that in Kenya we tend to castigate good practice and positives. In fact, this show should have been all about celebrating this. But
fair enough. Thank you, gentlemen. We don't have much time, but then we can take that up in our evening show. We have Zilizala Viwanjani, where we can, have a whole 1 hour to discuss all this. I just wish that you guys will also make time, to come for Zilizala Viwanjani. Viewers, that has been the Sports Chat segment of Morning Express, and I take you now back to Sophia and Mike.